All right, for today's assignment, you are going to get some practice writing the equations of parabolas. We're going to do 3 short types of problems, and if you want to watch this video for help on this, then this video will be available for you. So here is some information I have for you as a reminder. Here are the equations of the parabolas. Here is the vertical equation, and here is the horizontal equation. So for the things that you need to know for a equation of a parabola, first thing is you need to know the orientation. Is this horizontal or is it vertical? Depending on its direction, is it up or down or is it going left or right? The equation has h and k as a part of the equation, which means that we need the vertex so that we can replace those with numbers. And then lastly, we need the value of p. We're going to use that from a graph by counting, and from points, we're also going to count by plotting between those points. So here's sample problem number 1. Write the equation of the parabola given a graph. So here's this graph, and you can already see I have my solution written, but I'm going to walk us through this. The first thing I look at is question 1, the orientation. You don't have to write all of this down, but you can just think through this. But this is vertical, and it's going down. So that means I'm going to use the vertical equation, and then p is going to be a negative number, so it goes down. Next up, from my graph, I count the vertex point. That is the point 1, 0. Then, now that I have the orientation, I know it's going down, and I know the vertex is at 1, 0, the last thing I need to find before I can substitute into my equation is the value of p. Remember, p is how far it is from the vertex to the focus or the vertex to the directrix. So you'll see my little line here, counting. P counts as 4 units, and then I add the negative so that it goes down. Now we're ready to substitute into our equation. So now I'm going to plug in that information. Zoom out a bit so that we can see all the pieces. So here we go, following x minus h all squared. H is the x value, so that's 1. X minus 1 all squared equals 4 times p. So that's 4 times negative 4. And then times y minus k. K is 0, so y minus 0. Then I'm just going to simplify. X minus 1 squared. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and y minus 0 is y. So we get this equation here. Now you have a very similar problem. I would like you to do this problem here. And write the equation of the parabola in number 2. You can pause the video or you can do this later. I'm now going to talk through number 3. All right, here is number 3. For number 3, it's going to be the same idea. First thing that's different, though, is I want to give you an example of a horizontal parabola. So this one, as we look at this parabola, step 1 is its orientation. It's horizontal, and it is going right, which means that p is positive, and I am going to use the horizontal equation. So for this problem, we are going to use the horizontal equation and substitute in those places. All right, next up, the vertex. The vertex is here at negative 6, 2. Now this time, the new difference as well, besides it's being horizontal, is I have given you the directrix. Well, guess what? P is still the distance between the directrix and the vertex, and that counts out as 3 units. P is positive 3 since it's going to the right. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is now we're ready to substitute into our equation. The one thing we want to be careful about is it is reversed. So remember, k is the y value of the vertex. So y minus k. So I take the y value, which is 2, and I have y minus 2 all squared. Then 4 times p. P is 3, so that's 4 times 3. And then the equation is times x minus h. H is negative 6, so that's x plus 6. Simplify, multiply together the 4 and the 3, and we get our final equation, y minus 2 all squared equals 12 times x plus 6. So again, number 4 is very similar to this, also horizontal, following a similar idea. Do this next. I'm going to finally finish with walking through number 5, and then you will do number 6. All right, so now instead of giving you a graph, I'm giving you two characteristics. For this problem, you will see that I have given you the vertex and I have given you the focus point, the coordinate point locations. So my suggestions are we know we need to find the vertex, we need to find P. We also need to figure out the orientation. So in order to do that, first thing I do is I drew out some grids, kind of take off some of my old information. If I plot these points, this is what this looks like. The vertex at 2, 8, and the focus at 7/2 is the same as 3.5, so I went between 3 and 4, plotted my focus. Here's the deal. Since the focus is directly to the right of the vertex, that tells you your orientation is that this parabola is going to the right. So that is why in my original sketch, and I'll add it back, I have the vertex going to the right. So we're going to use the horizontal equation, and P is going to be positive. All right, well, guess what? We already have the vertex. That was given. The last thing we need is to figure out P. How far is it from the vertex to the focus? This time, rather than counting from coordinate points, we're going to look at the two numbers that changed. 8, the y value was the same, but from the vertex, it went from 2 to 7/2, or that's 3.5. So I take the difference between them, or you can count along your sketch. 3.5 minus 2 is 1.5 or 1.5. Now we have all the information we need. We're going to substitute into our equation. That gives us y minus, so using the horizontal equation, again, I'm not going to scroll up, but we are pairing that off. It goes y minus k. K is the y value of the vertex, so that's 8. Y minus 8 squared equals 4p, so 4 times 1.5. And then x minus h. H is the x value of the vertex, which is 2. When we simplify, that gives us 4 times 1.5 is 6. So that gives us our final answer of y minus 8 all squared equals 6 times x minus 2. So now you can try number 6. When you finish, you get to, you can submit this to Schoology, and then when we come back, I will have answers for us to check and see if we did this correctly. All right, enjoy the snow.